30th of July 2022, Liverpool v Manchester City, the Community Shield at the King Power Stadium. Now typically a Community Shield doesn't mean much. It's just kind of a taster for what is to come in the actual competitive season. However, in this game, it had a bit more spice to it. There was a narrative, a storyline. It was quite a simple one. Erling Haaland v Darwin Nunez. Both number 9s signed with quite a bit of money, one more than the other, and with both high expectations. Unfairly, you could say, Nunez was put on the same expectations by many fans to the same level as Haaland. Liverpool and Man City for years prior went neck and neck in many title races, and it felt like the new era was about to come. The two number 9s to spearhead both teams forward, and because of Liverpool being behind City only just, it felt like maybe the impact of a new number 9 could be exactly what they needed to get ahead of Manchester City. And how did that game end? Liverpool 3, Manchester City 1, with not only Darwin Nunez scoring in the 90th minute to seal the deal, but most importantly, Erling Haaland missing a absolute sitter in that game, questioning, could he have the minerals to back up the claims? Well, I think you know what else happened in that campaign. Man of the match, Darwin Nunez, and the hype truly began for him, and it felt like he earned that right in a big game. This, for many people, is the peak of Darwin Nunez, and for many people, including myself, thinks it's quite an unfair starting point, because since then, the expectations has been incredibly high. And it's fair to say that ever since that point, he may not have reached the expectations that many expected. Tell me down below your thoughts on Darwin Nunez, and most importantly, do you think that he has what it takes to take Liverpool to that next level, or do you think it may always be a step too far? Tell me your thoughts down below, smash the like button, and also subscribe if you're new. Mazzella Designs for the best football prints, link down below, top of description for the best prints, which is all made by myself, and we've got tons of Liverpool prints too, including 2 Darwin Nunez ones as well, which I'm sure you'll love a lot if you're indeed a Liverpool fan. Code Nunez for 15% off. Let's go. Chaos. That's a word that is thrown around a lot when it comes to Darwin Nunez. Now, is this just a meme for the sake of it, or is there any actual truth behind it? And, well, there's some truth behind it. No one knows what Darwin Nunez will do, not even Darwin Nunez. And when it clicks with Nunez, you would not be mocked by claiming that he is the best number 9 in world football. When he's absolutely on it, the aggression, the power, the energy that he brings is relentless when he's truly on it. And the beautiful part is, he's so unpredictable, which for number 9 is a blessing and a curse. Let me give you 2 examples from this campaign already. Number 1 is Newcastle away. We all know what happened. Liverpool down to 10 men, and somehow, in some way, after being behind, Darwin Nunez drags Liverpool with 10 men to win the game at St James's Park, scoring a winner in the 90th minute and also scoring to get the equaliser in the first place. That was brilliant. That was top world class, dragging a team from the mud to get the 3 points. And that was a big moment, and you can see exactly what he can provide in those situations. But then there is the other side of it. Spurs are home only the last week, when at the end of the game he was given clear opportunities to finish the game off. It was already 4-2. Maybe it doesn't really matter, but you can still see where he's off. Put him behind with the likes of Cody Gakpo, ready for the simple square ball, simple pass to set up his teammates, where he didn't only fail once, but twice, but actually 3 times in a matter of 3-4 minutes before the game ended, where he was set on through on goal to either score one-on-one or to set up his teammate, and he failed each time. And that may not be a big problem because they won anyway, right? But that is the example of just one scenario where he was given a great opportunity and didn't put it away. time and time again. Let's look at the stats. Nunez last season, first year Premier League, which of course he got brought over by Benfica, 9 goals, 3 assists in 29 games. It's not the greatest for number 9 at Liverpool, however, you can excuse him for his first year in England. That's fair enough. This season, 11 goals, 8 assists in 35 games in the Premier League. It's a bit better, however, for a number 9 at Liverpool to drag them over the line, you need to be hitting 20. But a key part that's missing out is the last recent games. In the last 11 games, Nunez has scored 1 goal. For number 9 at Liverpool, with the opportunities that he gets, that's not great. And despite all of this, Liverpool fans seem to always kind of still be behind him. A constant Nunez chance, getting behind him. Against Spurs, it was absent, which was noticeable, as Liverpool fans love his energy, love the enthusiasm, but at some point, that has to equate to results. Now, after the Spurs game, it may not mean anything, but Nunez did indeed delete post from his Instagram involving Liverpool. May not be a great sign. Typically when that happens, it's usually a sign of things going on in the background. However, it may not mean anything, but it is strange timing. Now, in fairness, this can be to do with the likes of Arne Slot coming over from Feyenoord, who will of course take over at Liverpool from Jurgen Klopp next season. Maybe he knows that he may not be preferred, especially when the likes of Cody Gakpo is right behind him and has been competing for that number 9 spot all season long. And potentially Gakpo may be more suited to the style play that Arne Slot wants to play. In terms of both Gakpo and Nunez, they're both completely different footballers. Nunez is completely unpredictable with a completely different speed and quite emotional, where Gakpo is the complete opposite, where he is very calm and in some circumstances maybe too calm and may not have that sort of urge to really go at players in a way that some Liverpool fans may want, and maybe a bit too laboured in his decision making. Price tags is one big factor. He was brought in for a relatively large amount of money. When it comes to Liverpool, £64 million is a lot of money for Liverpool. What you can see on screen is a graph of Darwin Nunez's goals and expected goals in comparison. So the blue lines is his goals in terms of per 90 minutes, in terms of XG, and the red, of course, is the expected goals. Now, in the 21-22 season at Benfica, he was, for the vast majority of the campaign, overperforming in terms of his XG, in terms of how high quality his goal opportunities are, in terms of how often are they taken. And ever since the start of the campaign of last season, he's been always in the red in terms of he's always been having higher XG compared to the actual goals he's putting out there. And for the entirety of this season and the second half of last season, he's been always in the red. Was that 21-22 season a purple patch, so to say, something similar to a Marcus Rashford back last campaign as well, where everything went for him, and has he always been a unpredictable and unreliable finisher? Something that if you want to be a complete elite number 9 at a elite club that's challenging for league titles, Champions Leagues, you've got to be reliable, and that's something that he absolutely isn't. And over then a couple of months, he's always been this type of player. To be more specific, in the last 2 campaigns, he scored 20 goals from an XG of 27.8. That's 20 goals from 2 seasons in the Premier League. He's also offside a lot. Too much. It's a bit of a problem. According to the Premier League website, in terms of the most offsides this campaign, Darwin Nunez is obviously top with 33 offsides this campaign. I'm going to keep in the fact that he's not played as much compared to maybe other players due to the fact that he's on the bench. To be top by quite a distance is quite damning. To give an example of how far ahead he really is, in terms of the joint third, so it's Nunez first with 33 offsides, Nicholas Jackson with 28, you may have guessed that, and in third is Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Mateta from Crystal Palace, 23 offsides. So from first to third, there's a 10 offside gap, which may not seem a lot, but in terms of the entirety of the league, that's a big leap. Just to highlight the 33 times that Nunez has been caught offside, Haaland has been caught twice. Just to get that comparison. His build-up play may also play a factor too, that when you compare him to the likes of Bobby Firmino, which was what they were used to for quite a while, they've had to change the system quite heavily to accommodate the new players, the new the Liverpool team. Luis Diaz is not the same player as Sadio Mane, obviously, and Firmino is not the same player as Darwin Nunez, and Salah has of course been adapted in terms of his role to accommodate these newer players, which has been evident the entire campaign, and maybe too evident in the last couple of recent weeks. In terms of build-up play, he's not the same player, not even close to Bobby Firmino, and in terms of his reliability, he can have a moment where he turns a man, progresses the ball 20-30 yards with a great beautiful ball and sets a player off, and in the next passage of play he does the direct opposite and pings it off for throwing. Another stat similar to offsides, where he's actually on top, is most shots taken. 104 shots Darwin Nunez has took this season, which is more than any other player, despite spending 1/3 of the time on the bench. In terms of shots per 90 minutes, he's again on top compared to any other player with a ratio of 4.73 per 90 minutes that he plays. Fulham's Muniz is on 4.44, and then third is Haaland with 4 shots per 90 minutes. And another stat, according to Opta, in terms of big chances missed, Darwin Nunez is second of the list ever since he joined the Premier League in the last 2 campaigns. Only one player has missed more chances, Erling Haaland. Only issue is Erling Haaland has scored almost triple the amount of goals. For more detail, Nunez has missed 46 big chances, where Haaland has missed 58. When you have a number 9, you need them to be consistent, especially at top level of Premier League. And Nunez, he's not got the composure for it, and that's been shown a few times this campaign. And I got some examples. This was against Palace at home, Everton away, and Luton Town in November. But then this is the issue. He then has moments where he's completely composed and ice cold, is what people may say, the kids may say nowadays. Best example is Brentford away. He goes through on goal, has all the time in the world, and sometimes when you're having too much time in the ball, you overthink, which you would think Darwin Nunez is the perfect player to overthink and miss the opportunity. However, he has the most delicate chip over the keeper for a beautiful goal. Clinical, serious finish that you'd expect, a Karim Benzema to maybe pull off. But then the situations like Spurs at home last weekend, missing all those clear opportunities and not making the right decision, or Everton away with a big chance and just didn't have that composure in the end. It's from one extreme to another extreme. In that 2-0 defeat away at Everton, which people deem as the moment that Liverpool lost the title, they probably wouldn't have won anyway, but that was a moment that they like to say. Jamie Carragher after the game said this about Nunez, and you can maybe agree or not, you tell me down below. On topic of Nunez, wanting him to do well because there's so much you like, because he gives everything. He runs, he causes trouble, he gets the odd goal, he gets assists. But after 2 years, I don't think there's going to be massive improvement from him. I think we've seen in 2 years what he is. He can cause trouble, he can be erratic in his finishing. It's not going to improve. I don't think it's going to be enough to win the biggest trophies, so I think there's a big decision to be made on him this summer. It won't be Klopp's decision, obviously, because he's leaving, and Arne Slot may have already made his point clear. I do think it is quite damning the fact he would remove everything to do with Liverpool off his socials. That's not a good sign. I am interested to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Nunez, of course, the agent of chaos, that's a term that's been thrown around a lot. However, how long can that gimmick continue before actual serious results? Maybe he's a great bench player. Would you need a new number 9? Would you like to keep him there and see if Slots can maybe get more out of him? Is it a psychological element or technical? I don't think it's worth giving up on him from a personal point of view, because he's still quite young-ish. I believe he's 24, and I just think he's so rare in football right now. I think there's the characteristics that he has. There's not too many players similar to him with those attributes, and I think that's something to be worth having. So tell me your thoughts down below. Do you think Arne Slot will be the man to change him? I'm looking forward to hearing it. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Mazzola Designs for your best Nunez prints. Link down below. See you next time.